You're listening to the Back Home Network, presented by Home Field Apparel.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
Jerry, you better yell! Show me the money! Show me the money!
Pay that man his money.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
Oh my gosh, new intro video, new season.
Love it.
CrimsonCASH is back. James, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Scott? Happy to be back. Love the new intro video. That's fantastic.
That's awesome. We'll still kind of mess with it a little bit. Hit us up on Twitter. James, you're kind of our Twitter. I'm a Twitter, like I look at stuff. I don't tweet enough, but I'm CrimsonCASH 317. You're CrimsonCASH 260 on Twitter. Hit either of us up or both of us. If you have clips you want to add there, we can make that a dynamic intro. We can change it all the time. But I love what we have so far.
Yeah, I absolutely love anybody listening, watching. Feel free to chime in. We love to hear that kind of stuff.
So you how you been, man? It's been an entire off season. I haven't talked to you in a while.
It has. I'm ready for some football. As Hank Williams Jr. would say, I haven't enjoyed betting baseball on a daily basis because baseball is a fickle mistress.
Yeah,
and the Brewers will just win, forever and ever. Although I have been betting on the Brewers, who have the longest win streak in the history of baseball, it seems like, as a Cubs fan. So it's been a brutal summer, and I'm ready to get back to it. Loved basketball season. The Pacers were great to watch. Made a lot of money on them.
Same.
Man, if Tyrese doesn't go down, would have made a lot more money on them.
Same.
But that's unfortunate. But that's part of being a Pacers fan is you're used to that. So
yeah.
But I'm happy to be back.
Well, welcome back. And you put some work in, my friend. You did an entire breakdown of every single Big Ten team. And so we are going to go through that right now. I have it up here. Do you care if I show it on video for those who are watching on video? It'll show a lot of the teams. It's a full Excel spreadsheet. So I don't want to, I can do it one by one if you want, or I just show the whole thing and we can kind of start talking through it.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Show the whole thing. I don't care.
So,
it will be tough for people's eyes, maybe.
Yeah. So do you want to start? Maybe let's go back. Let's go lowest. You did an alphabetical order. Let's start with Wisconsin and work our way back up to Indiana, Illinois. So we save Indiana to the end.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, man. So you start us off, Wisconsin. So what we're doing here is we're looking at the season prediction. Again, we're just a Big Ten focused podcast here. We're here to make you some money. Show me the money. And what we're looking at this year is just the season over under. And what James did is he went and predicted how he thought each team was going to do through their schedules. He put in the work, so you don't have to. So you can listen to this pod and make yourself some money. So basically, he's trying to figure out whether a team is going to be over or under what the current prediction over under is right now for each team. So with Wisconsin, and I promise I'll let you talk here in a sec. Wisconsin, their over under for the season is at 5.5 wins. So if they win 5 games, you should be betting the under. If they win 6 games, they should be betting the over. What James is trying to do is figure out what the best bet is for each one. There's a couple. I will say this. There's a couple that are you have 3 games off where you are 3 games different than what the current over under is. And those are ones that you should bet if you believe what James is talking about. So James, kick us off with Wisconsin.
Okay. I don't think Wisconsin's going to be great this year. They've got an over under of 5.5. I have them going under with only 5 wins. They start off the first 3 games for most of the Big Ten teams are pretty much gimmies. I don't have a lot of Big Ten non-conference losses, but Wisconsin's got one because they chose to schedule Alabama. Probably should have knocked that game off the schedule. And when it comes to the Big Ten schedule, it's a brutal one for them. They've got Michigan, they've got Ohio State, they've got Oregon, and they've got Iowa all in a row. And that doesn't even factor in the fact they've got to travel to Bloomington. I've got them getting an upset win over Illinois. One of the things I tried to do, and the reason I did this spreadsheet, is so that I could make sure that, I didn't just look at a team and go, oh, they've got, 5 wins this year. And then, they play another team who I say got 6 wins, but I've got them both winning the same game against each other or something like that. So I've made sure that doesn't happen when I went through doing this. But I don't see how they're going to get over 5.5 wins with this brutal schedule they have, unless they're just a tremendously improved team from last year. And I just don't see that right now.
So for those of you guys watching on video, you can see the schedule right here, kind of going through that. So you have Wisconsin at 5-7. Their over-under is 5.5. That's a tight bet, man. Like I'd be any of these that are like right on the edge. I'd be curious. That'd be tough to bet. But because I could maybe see them winning one of those games you have lost. So this would be a stay away for me.
Yeah, I would not. I'm not putting any money on this.
All right. So next up, you have Washington.
I don't know really what to make of them. I think they'll probably be around kind of what they were last year, which is around 7 wins, which is they're at 7.5. I have them slightly under. The losses, I had Wisconsin beating them. That game's at Camp Randall. You never know. That's one of those ones where either one of those could kind of swing either way. I think Maryland and Rutgers are probably easy games for Washington. And they're going to lose to Ohio State. They're not going to beat Michigan. And they're definitely not going to beat Oregon. So, I'm not going to bet it, but I like the under.
Okay. Next up, we have USC. Their over-under is 7.5.
Yeah, I have them going over here. Just kind of depends on how this team shakes out. The defense was pretty bad last year. And can the offense generate enough against some of the Big Ten big boys? And that Michigan game one specifically, I'm looking at. That's going to be pretty much where this over-under hinges on. I think they're going to be able to take care of Northwestern and Nebraska. UCLA is a rivalry game, but they seem to have a better team than them. They could pick up a win at Iowa. I guess that's always possible. But something about USC heading to Iowa in November, I just don't like that. So that's why I picked that. So I think they'll go over. There's some wiggle room there, but not enough for me.
I don't know, man. I kind of like the over here because you look at it like they're probably going to start 4-0. They're gonna have some wind in their sails. Like that could be a game against Illinois where Illinois has just lost to Indiana. I could see them going 2-1 in those Illinois, Michigan, Notre Dame games. There could be a world where they just kind of get on a roll. Their schedule's relatively easy, so I like the over here as well. I'm going to mark that down. That is one of the ones that I'm going to bet. I'll bet USC over. I like that.
That assumes they learned how to tackle in the past off season. So.
Yeah, but I mean, at some point, Lincoln Riley is a good coach. Like he should be a good coach and should be able to get stuff done. You would think. Yeah. All right. Next up, I'm gonna try and do this on the fly. We have UCLA.
All right. You pulling that up here, or do I need to pull it up?
There we go.
All right. Another team that has a non-conference game. I think they're going to lose. Because Utah just seems to have a more solid program overall, which makes me think that they're probably going to go pretty much under here. In fact, I think they're a 1.5 games under. They're set at 5.5, and I've only got them getting 4 wins. You tell me where the other 2 wins are coming from here. Are they going to beat Northwestern at Northwestern?
Maybe.
Are they going to beat Penn State? No. Indiana? No. Ohio State? No. And then they end with Nebraska, Washington, USC. What's that?
They could lose to Michigan State.
They could lose to Michigan State very easily.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things where, a lot would have to break for them to get this over. I actually do like the season under for them.
I'm writing it down on my sheet. I like the under as well. All right. Next up, we have Rutgers. This is fun, by the way, just looking at the schedules and seeing how teams they could be 4-0. I enjoy this exercise, just kind of seeing where teams could be throughout the year. So anyway, Rutgers.
Rutgers, I have them winning against Iowa in their first Big Ten game because it's like a Friday night game in Piscataway, and something makes me think, they're going to win this and they're going to be 4-0, and you're going to hear about, is Rutgers this year's Indiana? and then they're going to get curb stomped by the Gophers. So that's what I think is going to happen with them. But they do have Purdue, so they will get another win somewhere along the ways. I just don't see them with the schedule they've got being able to pick up more than 5 wins, which is where I've got them at, which is under their 5.5 total.
All right, next up, this is fun. So yeah, I would stay away from that. That's just really close to it. Next up is Purdue. God, I'd love to bet the under, but it's like at 2.5, you're just assuming they have to go 2-10, which would be awesome and is very possible. But anyway, go ahead.
You could make a case they lose to Ball State. You could easily make that case. I have no idea what to expect from this Purdue team. They were so god awful last year. How many guys came over from UNLV? Is that going to be a big deal? Who knows? I don't think they're going to win. More than Ball State and Southern Illinois, there's no chance. So, who are they going to beat? Northwestern, maybe.
Yeah,
that's probably the only. That may be the only winnable game on their schedule, besides Ball State and Southern Illinois. That would be the only game where they'll probably be competitive.
Are you able to do adjusted win totals? Like I guess the odds wouldn't be good enough, but if you set the under at 3, like can you do that here, or are you just? I'm curious.
I don't know of any books that are doing that on the season over unders.
Yeah.
Now you may have one book has it at 3.5 and 2.5. I don't see too many whole numbers on the season over unders.
Okay, yeah. If I could get it for 3.5, I would pound that all day long. But I think 2.5 is.
They know that. I think 2.5. I think the under is actually it's negative.
Yeah.
So it's not.
Well, the thing is, if you bought up to 3.5, the odds would probably not even make any sense.
Yeah.
And then it's like, if they beat Ball State, Southern Illinois, and they beat Northwestern, you're like suddenly sweating the rest of the year.
You're sweating that Rutgers game.
Or worst case, it's like, let's say I don't think it's going to be, but if it's a tight game against Indiana, you're like, dude, this is the worst case scenario.
I do not expect that to happen.
I don't either, but just it wouldn't be fun. All right, next up, similar in a different way here. Penn State, their over-under is 10.5, and they are right on that line. Like this is a question of, do you think they can beat Ohio State or Oregon, or can they go clean on everything else? But give us your thoughts.
Well, I was generous to Penn State because last year, I hailed them as frauds. And I don't think James Franklin is a great coach, but somehow they get a shit ton of talent just to show up on campus, but not enough to beat Oregon or Ohio State. So I think I go to Ohio Stadium this year. I don't see that happening. And being generous to them, I gave them the win against Indiana only because they're at home.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't. 10.5 is a salty number. That's pretty tough to do. So I would feel comfortable taking the under here.
Penn State, I've been talking about them a lot with friends because we said this last year. It's like, it's unfair that Indiana's bar to cross was like, you have to win at Ohio State. Like Galen and I talk about this. There's only a couple teams that have won at the Horseshoe in the Big Ten in the last 10 years. Like, it's a very small number. This year, if Indiana loses at Oregon and loses at Penn State, I know there'll be some national talk of like, oh man, Indiana, like frauds again, just soft schedule. It's like, nobody says that about Penn State, but yet Penn State doesn't win top 10 games either. Like the fact that for Indiana to not be a fraud in some people's eyes, they have to win at Oregon or win at Penn State is absurd. Like, that's a great year. That would make Indiana 10-2. And again, I look at Penn State. They don't win top 10 games either, yet everyone just kisses their rear end. Everyone puts them in the top 10. Everyone's like, oh, they're a great team. Like, you've never heard a lot of like, oh, they're frauds. They don't deserve to be there. It's like, yeah, they're. I mean, you get some talk of like they just can't win the big game, but they don't get the same kind of vitriol that Indiana does, and they won't. The same vitriol Indiana will get this year if they don't win those 2 games will not be the same if Penn State has that schedule, that result that you showed right there, which is basically the same as Indiana. If they both go 10-2 and have the same results, I guarantee there will be more vitriol toward Indiana than Penn State.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
All right, we'll go to the next grouping. I need to add the image file. Sorry, I'm producing and putting stuff up on the same time. All right, here we go. Oregon, their over-under is 10.5. Dude, James, you got them going clean.
Yeah, I don't think they lose. I think this is it. I mean, look at this schedule. It's a gift from the gods. Penn State and Indiana are their 2 toughest games. And interesting side note, they have a bye week before the Indiana game. So they play Penn State, and then they've got a bye before Indiana. So any, residual like hangover or anything we think we might have gotten if they beat Penn State will probably be nullified by that point.
Last year we played like 6 teams coming off a bye. It was insane.
Yeah. So this is that doesn't bode well for the Hoosiers. I think Oregon is just more athletic than every team on that list. And so I don't think they're going to lose. I think they'll be the number one seed in the college football playoff.
I'm having a hard time disagreeing with you. I'm looking at their schedule.
Yeah. I mean, look at it.
Yeah. I mean, I will say for next year, you should do you should give me the road and away splits here. So I know where people are different. So you should do like at, so we can, hey, we're always getting better. Every year we get better.
Hours I spent on this spreadsheet. So,
well, 10 more minutes next year. Maybe that USC game. Maybe. I was like the Iowa game. If that's at Iowa, that could be tougher.
That is at Iowa.
I mean, that could be a rough one. But yeah, I'm with you, man. It could be all the way. So that's actually 10.5 is not a bad number then if you looking at this schedule, because like they could lose.
They lose to Penn State.
Losing 2.
No, I don't. I mean, they lose to Penn State and Indiana. I mean, that would be the only way I see it.
So I mean, that's kind of a like if you think Indiana's going to win that game, then maybe you bet the under on Oregon as well.
I don't know. I would take the Indiana over as opposed to the Oregon under at that point.
Fair enough. All right, next up, you have Ohio State. Ohio State, you also have going pretty clean outside of a first loss. You haven't beaten Grambling. Explain yourself, please.
Yeah. This Texas game, I think that's going to be an Arch Manning show. So I don't like them winning that, but I just who are they going to lose to rest? Penn State? I don't think so. That game's at Ohio Stadium. I mean, Michigan, because they lose to Michigan every year. But at some point, that's got to change. 10.5, this over-under, I will not take this. I would not bet this, but I do think that it goes over.
All right, next up, we have a pretty big spread here. Northwestern over-under is 3.5. You have them differently.
Yeah, I think they win 5 games this year. And let's take a look at who I think they can beat. Tulane, Western Illinois, University of Louisiana Monroe, UCLA, and Purdue. Now, I'd say 4 of those are pretty safe bets, and they're at 3.5. So go ahead and give me the Cats.
Meow. And by the way, we talked about this. You did check all this stuff, so you have like if you have Northwestern beating Purdue, you don't have Purdue beating Northwestern. Like this is all evened out, right?
Correctamundo.
Okay. I forgot I have team sounds from last year. I don't think I have that one locked in there. I think we did a lot of ours already, but I'm going to get better at this. Have them locked in. All right. Next up, we have Nebraska over under 7.5. Surprising because they're such a media darling. They normally are like a 9 win team, but 7.5. But you're a huge Nebraska fan. You have them going 8-4.
Yeah, I wanted them to go under. I really did. But then I looked at the schedule. I mean, they just don't have a tough schedule. And they get Michigan at home. And Michigan with this rookie QB, we haven't got to them yet, but I'm not completely sold on that idea yet. They just pretty much got a soft schedule. So, yeah, 8 wins seems very plausible.
All right, next up, I need to, again, do a little producing on the fly, but we're going to add our next image. Hopefully people are watching this online or on YouTube or on Spotify because we're putting some work in here, man. All right, next up we have, I did Nebraska twice. My bad. We have Minnesota. Minnesota's over-under is 7.5, and you have a discrepancy here. Discrepancy alert.
I have them at 9-3.
That's wild. Row that boat, baby.
Well, let's look at this, all right? Buffalo, Northwestern State, Cal, and Rutgers to start the year. So that's a nice 4-0 cushion. They lose to Ohio State. They beat Purdue. I think they beat Nebraska. Lose to Iowa, beat Michigan State, lose to Oregon, beat Northwestern, beat Wisconsin. So, I mean, I think that's all plausible. Now, are all those wins gonna happen? Probably not, but I think at least 8 of them probably would. Then, where do they, maybe they trip up against Nebraska or Wisconsin or something. But I think they're probably over. I think PJ Fleck's a good coach too.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that. All right, next up you have Michigan State, a 5.5 line. This is one I talk about my buddy Robert on my street all the time. He's a Michigan State fan. We started talking football as we always do this time of year. And, I actually think they're going to be better. I think their quarterback is pretty good. He's salty, good. But Robert started like laying out their schedule. Give me your schedule, man. Like, just let's talk it through. Just laying it out. I'm like, my God, their schedule is brutal. Like, they might have pulled the worst hand in the Big Ten scheduling card. I think Michigan State could be better and could still go 4-8 or 3-9 just based on schedule alone. And at 5.5, I'm with you. I really like the under, but talk us through this. They have a brutal stretch.
Brutal. And that assumes they can beat Boston College.
Right. Right.
Which which I gave them, the benefit of the doubt on that one. But I mean, you get, USC, Nebraska, UCLA, Indiana, Michigan, Minnesota, Penn State, Iowa. I got them losing all those games in a row. I'm not as sold on the quarterback. I think he's got some great arm talent and he's pretty mobile, but I don't think he makes the best decisions on earth. And that team was just so bad last year. It's hard to envision them being much better against this kind of competition. So at 5.5, I really like this under. Where are 6 wins here?
Yeah.
Where are those other two coming from?
I'm with you. You have them at 4-8. If you say, like, let's say they beat Minnesota or they beat UCLA, which I think they could beat UCLA. It's like, okay, they're 5-7. Give me the next win. Like, where is it coming from? It's not going to, at Indiana, it's not going to be at Penn State. It's like Iowa. I think both those are on the road. Like, it's Penn State's, they're playing home, but Iowa's at Iowa. Yeah, it's just a rough schedule. All right, next up, we have Michigan. Their over-under is 8.5, and you have them at 8 1/4. You have them at 8 4.
Yeah, and I went back and forth on this one. I think I had them at 9-3 at one point, but then I thought, no, because I don't think they're going to win this Oklahoma game. That was where I kind of hinged on the over-under for their season total. I think the rookie QB, the freshman QB, is not what you want playing Oklahoma. So I'm thinking they probably lose that game. They have shockingly a very soft Big Ten schedule. Where they've somehow managed to avoid Oregon, Penn State, and Indiana. They do get Ohio State, and that's at the big house.
You have Ryan Day finally winning that game?
I do. Yeah, I think this is the year.
Time.
I'm very concerned about a freshman quarterback winning 9 games. I don't know. I mean, who is this kid? He's no Arch Manning.
Right.
So.
All right, next up, let's go to our last image file.
Some Michigan fans like, his name's fucking this and that, and how do you not know?
That's MGO Blog, live on MGO Blog right now. All right, we have Maryland. I have a Maryland song here. I actually remember some of these. I have no idea what we did for Maryland. So
we have a Maryland song.
Football. That's what Maryland does.
There we go.
Okay,
yeah,
great. I think they have a tough go of it this year. 4.5 they're over under. I mean, they could get to 5. I don't like it, but I'm not going to bet it. They're just a middling football team. They're kind of the same boat as Michigan State. They're not good enough to beat the schedule they've been presented with, which, as former Big Ten East people, we understand that. So,
yep, I wouldn't touch this. I don't know enough about Maryland. I don't care enough. I don't want money on them. Next up, you have Iowa. Their over under is 7.5. You have them at 8 4.
Yeah, I'm not huge on it. I wouldn't, rush to bet this. This assumes a lot of things, and it assumes mostly that they have a quarterback who's aware of the forward pass and an offensive coordinator who's also aware of the forward pass, which is a lot, but the defense is always going to be solid. And they've got a fairly tough schedule. So who knows how they're going to feel after losing back-to-back to Rutgers and Indiana. I mean, because I have them losing to Rutgers. So, so they could be a 9-3 team. I kind of threw that in there. But they could very easily lose to USC, which I have them winning. But that's a home game in November, which I kind of talked about earlier. So this is one of those ones. I'm not going to run to it, but I think they'll be better than 7.5 wins.
Yeah, I think so. Although, you have a very reasonable win-loss schedule there, and that's I hate being one game away from that.
Exactly.
It's tough, and Iowa's one of those teams where they're tough to play at home, but they can also just become a dog and just have zero offense going. I would stay away from this as well. One of the ones I've already bet, and I'll be betting, and I'll continue to bet more. Indiana, they come in at an 8.5 line. You have them at 10-2. I've not done my season prediction yet, but there's my text notification going off right in the background. But talk to us about this. 10-2, big over.
Yeah. That Illinois game's a big one, obviously.
Right.
I think Illinois, and they're up next, but I'll go ahead and talk about them now. I don't get it. I have them going over, but I don't get why they're so hyped up.
You're like Tom Hanks and Big. I don't get it.
I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't get it. A robot that turns into a building? I don't get it.
The quarterback. When did he become good? Did Heather Dinich write an article about how good he was and then became good? I don't know. That team barely beat Purdue last year, for God's sakes. I don't get it. Okay. I think we win out Iowa. That's the big one. I'm also very concerned about. So this thing is already, there's a couple of, I think I'm comfortable beating Illinois. At Iowa, I'm a little more concerned about. I don't see any way we win at Oregon. But the rest of the Big Ten schedule, I think, is very winnable. And at Penn State, I don't see a scenario where we go in and pull off the upset. I just don't. But that's the, lifelong Hoosier fan in me talking. So that could be why. And Signetti would slap that out of me if he saw me. So that's where I'm at on the Hoosiers. I think odds of beating Penn State 30%, odds of winning at Oregon 10-15, odds of beating Iowa 60-70.
I'm in the same boat. I think we have a better chance at Penn State than we do at Oregon. I don't know why. I think Oregon's a different type of athlete that we're not ready for.
Oregon will be the best team we play all year. I don't even think it's going to be close.
And it does. It comes down to that Iowa game here. But even if you lose that Iowa game, you're still at 9-3. And then it's like
even 8-4 would be a great season.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be upset if we end up 8-4.
Well, I would be if I bet the over.
Because if you bet it, yeah.
From a betting perspective, I'm looking at it from a betting perspective. Is that you have a game of slop to play around with there if you lose at Iowa, and there's also a world where if you lose those, like maybe you do beat Iowa, but you lose to Illinois, or you lose to Wisconsin at home, but you're able to pull off. Like I think there's a world where you might go 10-2, 9-3, but it doesn't look the way we think it does because you drop one here, but then you pick one up somewhere else. So I like a 2-game variance is pretty good at this point in the season, and so I like the over on Indiana a lot.
Yeah, I don't have anything on it yet, but I will. I do have. I did put a few bucks on Fernando Mendoza to win the Heisman at plus 5,000 odds. I also have a bet on IU to make the college football playoff. So
okay. I remember when I put money on Penix to win the Heisman. I never thought I was crazy, and then we had that great season. And then like the next year at Washington, I think I put money on it too. And it's like it's not bad. So Mendoza, I'll say this: if Indiana goes 10-2, and he has some great numbers, there's a Heisman candidacy there.
No, they need to go at least 11-1 because he'd have to win. He'd have to win in Eugene, or he'd have to win at Penn State. Like
you're probably right.
To be in that conversation, you got to win a big game on the road and kind of be the reason for it.
Or
But-
unless we lose both those games like 56-52 or something, where he just puts up like it becomes a Josh Allen type thing where it's like, dude, man, he did everything he could.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that would be possible. So, I mean, I don't know. There's an outside shot. That's why it's plus 5,000.
yeah. All right. Well, man, this was fun. All right. So you don't like Illinois, but they're still one of your bigger variance teams. You still have them as an over.
I do have them with the over. Yeah. I think their defense was pretty good. And so that's kind of, and I think their run game is decent. I'm still not sold on their quarterback, but the schedule is pretty easy for
I
them.
want to pull that back.
I mean,
I wanna look at it.
here's some games where I think the USC game that I have them winning, I think they could lose that. Maybe Washington would be the other one I'd be concerned about them in.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get that over. I like that as a call. So, all right, here are the ones that I have written down. All right, my list is complete.
All right.
The ones I'm going to bet are USC over, UCLA under, Oregon over, Northwestern over, Minnesota over, Michigan State under. Sorry, Robert. Indiana over and Illinois over.
I like those. I think, I might do one where I parlay them all. Just kind of stupid.
I might parlay the Indiana over, the Michigan State under, and the Oregon over. I think those are the ones I feel, and maybe the Illinois over. Like
the Oregon over, I feel pretty comfortable with.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. All right, man. So
I don't want to bet the IU over. I'm just gonna be honest.
You're not?
No, because I'm gonna be pissy enough if they go 8-4 that I don't want to add any fuel to the fire and be calling for Signetti's head or something irrational by the end of the year.
Watch your mouth. How dare you? You could also just try and like bet the games on, one-on-one basis. Like I bet Indiana's still going to probably be, it won't be the same run we had last year, but they're probably still going to be like an underdog going into Iowa. Like I think there's still going to be some really good value on the Hoosiers this year again.
I think so too. Yeah.
And the 8.5 line shows it.
And I think we may get some nice like team totals, things like that to start the year. So the kind of things that last year kind of worked for us, we'll kind of see if they're available again this year. Early.
Speaking of things that worked last year, we are bringing back.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. I win. Google me.
The Hoosier Hot Streak. We're bringing that back. So we're going to start that week 1 of Indiana's first game. Basically, the way it works is Indiana was on a hot streak last year. So James had to bet Indiana to win money line, right?
No, is it just a bet on the spread?
A bet on the Hoosiers,
Yes.
and then if you won that bet, the next week you had to tack on another Big Ten bet in the parlay. So like week 1 is just IU, week 2 is a 2-team parlay, week 3 is a 3-team parlay, week 4 we just see how far we can take it, and then we reset again. But you have to win the Indiana bet first.
I think we got 4 or 5 weeks in a row at one point.
We got to like 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah, you're pretty hot last year.
Yeah, so just like Signetti, fast things that were relentless. Every bet has a life of its own. 6 seconds a bet. Never hedge.
Right.
Sometimes hedge.
And then you're also adding something else this year because you have a son in college.
Yeah, my son is heading down to Purdue. He's going to be a freshman, and he's leaving this weekend. And so each week I was going to send him some pizza money. But I thought instead of doing that, well, why don't we gamble it? And he can either get no pizza money or extra pizza money, and we can all have a little fun with it. So each week my plan is to go on X and put out a couple games that we're going to use. And that's where you, the people, get to choose what game we're going to put the pizza money on. So
that's Keegan's pizza money.
Keegan's pizza money. Yep.
Keegan's pizza bet. So you'll throw.
And for those of you interested, it will end up being Mad Mushroom cheese sticks. I'm pretty sure. So
okay. Are you going to? Is it Big Ten only, or is this any game you'll bet on? We should keep.
Yeah, we'll expand it. We'll try and just do Big Ten games. But if there's something else that looks tasty out there, I'm going to toss it in.
There's 18 teams out there, but it's just one bet. We're not doing parlays. Like just one bet for him to get his pizza.
It'll be like one bet. Yeah. So
Okay, I like that. I like that a
Since
lot.
he's going to Purdue, we might put the Boilers on there a time or two. So
okay. Well, I mean,
force him to root for a Boiler loss.
Oh, I
in
love
order to get
that.
his pizza.
He's got to root for Purdue losses or pizza. I love it. I love it a lot. Well, James, it's we got like 3 weeks until the first Big Ten games. This has been fun. Look forward to it. And we're going to be again recording on Thursdays. Follow up with James on X. He is at CrimsonCASH 260. I'm on there, CrimsonCASH 317. I will do a better job of looking at that this year. And we'll look forward to a fun year and make some money and see the Hoosiers go 10-2, maybe 11-1.
That'd be great. Maybe 12-0. Who knows?
We'll do a live show at the Big Ten championship game.
There's nothing stopping this team from going 12-0.
Except for Penn State and Oregon.
In Oregon, yeah. Except for the teams that are trying to beat them.
Yeah, exactly. All right, James. Well, I appreciate it. It's been fun and looking forward to another fun year. Thank you all for listening. And for James, this is Scott for Crimson Cash signing off.
Post time.